More than 1 in 3 adults has blood sugar that's too high right now, and most of them have absolutely no idea. Not because they're not paying attention, but because the signs are quiet, easy to dismiss, and incredibly easy to explain away as something else. Too much stress, getting older, not sleeping enough. That's what most people tell themselves, for months, sometimes years, until something more serious finally gets their attention. Today we're going through 6 specific signs your body sends when blood sugar is elevated. These are the signs that the CDC, Mayo Clinic, and Cleveland Clinic list as the earliest and most consistent warnings. And if you recognize 2 or more of them, that combination is worth taking seriously. Sign 1: extreme thirst that water doesn't fix. You drink and drink and drink some more. You've had 2 liters of water today and your mouth still feels dry. You carry a water bottle everywhere. You wake up in the middle of the night genuinely thirsty, and no matter how much you drink, the thirst comes back within the hour. That is not normal dehydration. Normal thirst goes away when you drink. This doesn't. And the reason is specific. When blood sugar rises too high, above roughly 180 milligrams per deciliter, your kidneys reach their limit for recapturing glucose. They begin flushing the excess into your urine, and they pull large amounts of water with it. You lose fluid continuously. Your body signals thirst to replace it. You drink. The glucose is still there. The kidneys keep flushing. The thirst keeps returning. Sign 2: frequent urination, especially at night. Waking up at 3 a.m. to use the bathroom, then again at 5 a.m. During the day, needing to go every hour or two. It feels like a bladder problem. Most people never connect it to blood sugar. But it's the same mechanism as the thirst. They always appear together. Glucose spilling into the urine, pulling water with it, producing far more urine than normal. Most healthy adults sleep through the entire night without needing to get up. If you're waking once or more regularly, and you're also unusually thirsty during the day, that combination is one of the most reliable early signals of elevated blood sugar. Source: Medical News Today 2024. Sign 3: fatigue that sleep doesn't cure. This one is the most commonly dismissed. You slept 8 hours, you had coffee, you're still exhausted by 10 a.m., you can't concentrate, everything feels heavy and slow. You assume it's stress or age or not enough sleep, but here's what's actually happening. Insulin is the key that opens your cells to let glucose in. When cells become resistant to insulin's signal, glucose stays in the blood. Your cells receive almost no fuel. They signal exhaustion. And your brain, which depends almost entirely on glucose for energy, feels foggy and slow. Your blood is swimming in glucose your cells cannot access. It's one of the cruelest paradoxes of high blood sugar, full of fuel, starving for energy. No coffee fixes this. No sleep fixes this. Only addressing the blood sugar fixes this. Source: Federa.org 2026. Sign 4: blurry or fluctuating vision. Your vision is slightly off. Things that were sharp yesterday aren't today. You think you need new glasses. You get new glasses. Your vision keeps changing. Different in the morning than the afternoon. Worse after a big meal. Better some days than others. That fluctuation is the key sign. High blood sugar pulls fluid into the lens of the eye through osmosis, causing it to swell and change shape. A changed lens shape means changed focus. And because blood sugar rises and falls throughout the day, the vision fluctuates with it. The good news is that this early blurring is reversible. The concerning part: long-term high blood sugar causes diabetic retinopathy, damage to the blood vessels in the retina, which is one of the leading causes of blindness in adults. Source: Mayo Clinic. The earlier this is caught, the better. Sign 5: cuts and wounds that won't heal. A small cut that's still there 3 weeks later, a blister that won't close, a minor scrape that gets infected instead of healing in a few days. Your body used to handle these things quickly. Now it doesn't, and that change is telling you something important. High blood sugar impairs wound healing through 3 simultaneous mechanisms. It weakens the white blood cells that fight infection and initiate healing. It damages the small blood vessels that carry nutrients and oxygen to the wound, starving it of what it needs to close. And it creates an environment that bacteria and fungi actively thrive in. Source: WebMD 2024. If you're also getting recurring infections, urinary tract infections, skin infections, yeast infections that keep coming back, that pattern of immune suppression is coming from the same place. Sign 6. Tingilangi or numbness in hands and feet. Pins and needles in your feet that don't go away. A burning sensation in your toes at night. Numbness in your hands in the morning. You assume you slept on it wrong or it's poor circulation. But this is your nerves sending a very specific signal. This is called peripheral neuropathy. High glucose damages nerves through two pathways: direct toxicity to nerve cells and reduced blood flow from damaged small vessels that feed the nerves. It starts in the feet and hands because they're furthest from the heart, where blood flow is already most vulnerable. And this is the most urgent sign in this video because nerve damage is partially irreversible. Even when blood sugar is brought under control, some of the damage persists. Source: Mayo Clinic. If you have tingling or numbness alongside any other signs from this list, don't wait. What to do now? If you recognize 2 or more of these signs, here is what matters next. See your doctor and ask for 2 specific tests: a fasting blood glucose test and an HbA1c. The HbA1c gives your average blood sugar over the past 3 months. It can't be fooled by one good day before a test. Normal HbA1c is below 5.7%. Prediabetes is 5.7 to 6.4. Diabetes is 6.5 and above. Source: American Diabetes Association. And here is the genuinely good news. Prediabetes is reversible. The CDC's Diabetes Prevention Program, the largest prediabetes study ever conducted, showed that losing 5 to 7% of body weight and walking 150 minutes per week reduced progression from prediabetes to type 2 diabetes by 58%. Not medication, walking, and eating less sugar. The window where you can fully reverse this is real, but it requires acting on these signs, not explaining them away. Start today. Replace one sugary drink with water. Walk for 15 minutes after your next meal. This alone reduces the post-meal blood sugar spike by 30 to 50%. Eat protein before carbohydrates at every meal. These are not difficult changes, but they are the right ones. Share this with someone who has been unusually tired, unusually thirsty, or has been dismissing tingling in their feet as getting older. These are not signs of aging. They are your body asking for help specifically and persistently. And now you know what it's saying. See you in the next video.
Yeah, we did it! Thanks for subscribing!
That's a brief look at Health Explained. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.